Okay, there we go. Hey guys, how you doing today? Happy Monday. Welcome to the work week. How was everybody's weekend? And hope everyone had a good weekend and a good start to their Monday. I want to talk to you guys today about a concept of having a AI second brain for a backup and why you would use this. So, what specifically you want to use is something called Obsidian. And what Obsidian will do is allow you to have all of your thoughts, all of your notes, all of your skills inside of one place that is organized so that if you ever switch from Claude to Codex, from Codex to Claude, or any of the other models, you can just hook it up to your what they call an Obsidian vault, and then you're good to go. And let me explain that in more detail. So, if right now you are using Claude, let's say, and you're using Claude MD files for memory, for skills, for agents, etc. And for whatever reason, Claude goes down for a couple hours or Claude has some kind of problem and it shuts down, you're going to have a problem trying to figure out how to get all of those skills and all of those workflows onto another provider like a Codex or a Gemini or whatever your model is. What Obsidian will do and what I would recommend you do is you install Obsidian inside of your Microsoft OneDrive. If you install it inside of your Microsoft OneDrive, then it automatically gets backed up to your cloud. And the reason why this is important is you can go from terminal A to terminal B. You can move from your desktop to your laptop. You can access it from your phone. And so basically what you're going to do is you're going to have all of your memory files, your preferences, your skills, your notes inside of Obsidian. And then you're going to connect your preferred LLM, once again, Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, to Obsidian. And if one of those providers, if the main one you use, because all of us basically use a main one, I use a couple of them, but I have a main one. If your main one goes down, then you can just connect your backup to Obsidian and you do not lose your skills, your memories, your preferences, your workflows, especially when you have things, if you have like a business or something where you have a lot of automation in place. And by having it installed on your OneDrive, you can then access it from any of your computers and it automatically syncs. So if you start off in the morning on your main computer and then you go into, a home office or a remote working facility with your laptop, you can access all of those files through Obsidian if you have it connected to your OneDrive. And if you have a Windows account, you don't need to worry about setting up your own virtual private server or paying for like an Amazon Lite kind of thing that you host it because you're already paying for the stuff. You already have access to it. So the next question I think people ask is, well, is it safe and is it secure? It's just as safe and secure as anything else you would access on your Windows machine. In my opinion, Windows 11 is one of the most safest and secure operating systems out there. But that's everyone has their preferences, but it's no different than anything else you would have on your OneDrive. But the power is it acts as a second brain, and if one of the providers goes down, now you have a backup. You can just hook with a couple of very simple renaming of files. You can hook everything up and have it up and running with a small amount of configuration. And you don't lose everything. And that's what's important. You don't lose all of your work because of how Obsidian has it stored in its vault. And we've talked about in another video, we talked about using Graphify, and we talked about something that Databricks did. So if you hook up Obsidian to Graphify, it's going to create relationships and connections in addition to the ones you link already through Obsidian, because you can link them manually, or you can have Graphify do it. And that will make the models just like our minds. It creates relationships and it'll make the models more efficient on how they run, meaning that they run faster and they use less tokens. So that's a winning combo. Hooking everything up to, so you're not, you can run the model locally for sure. And that removes a lot of cloud-based provider dependencies and um, provider dependencies when you run it locally. But the information that you're using, the skills files, the memory files, the agent files, those you store on your OneDrive so that they're automatically backed up and you can access them from anywhere. Meaning one of the providers goes down, you just switch the provider. So that's a winning combo. And then you hook that up to Obsidian, and then you have Graphify look through all your Obsidian notes and files. Once again, anything that you link on your own or you have Graphify graph out for you becomes the second brain for all of your AI large language models, and is just, they claim up to 70% more efficient from a token perspective. But in addition to being more efficient from a token perspective, I think when a lot of people started playing around with AI in 2023, 2024, they were like, let's just kind of see how it goes. And at the time of this video, we're in the middle of 2026. And so, this stuff is not going away. It's only getting better and better. And all of our lives are revolving around this stuff. We're going to get to a place where AI is just embedded in everything. And so if you're creating workflows, if you're creating automation, and there's a problem, you don't want to lose all that stuff and then say, have to recreate everything, because that's not feasible. If you've been building things for over a year and you have hundreds and hundreds of files and skills, you can't afford to lose all of that, especially when you have a client or a stakeholder base that's depending on this. So hooking it up so it's on the cloud, like a Windows OneDrive that you can access from anywhere, and having Obsidian take care of those notes for you. It has its own little file viewer, which works great. And then hooking that up to Graphify so it's more token efficient is a winning combo, and I would recommend everyone use that. You can download this stuff for free. The install and configuration is pretty simple. It's just a couple of command lines. Don't need to know code. You don't need to know commands. You can copy and paste them, get it going. If you want to talk more about this stuff, if you want to have a second brain installed for your AI, if you want to have it backed up automatically on the cloud, if you want to link your different notes and skills so that it creates better relationships and it learns better, and if you want to have better token efficiency, like I said, they claim 70% better. It's definitely better, I'll tell you that. Is it 70% better? I don't know. That's a big claim, but it's much better for sure. Meaning that you want to get more horsepower without spending more money. That's what that means. Give me a call sometime. I can walk you through how to set that up locally, which is what I recommend. Or if you're like, look, I want to have this stuff set up on the cloud, and I don't want to worry about having it being accessible on local machines. We can set it up in a cloud environment very easy. Like I said, I recommend using Amazon Lights just to go on. It's a couple bucks a month. But if you host it locally, it doesn't cost anything. You're using it on the machine hardware you already have. But yeah, that's the winning combo for today. I wanted to talk to you using the Obsidian Vault to be your second brain, and then hooking it up to Graphify cost efficient, because we moved to a place where it's no longer a question of whether, it's a question of, are we using it be the most efficient, most effective way? Are we staying competitive in the landscape? And all of these open source tools are coming out, and like Obsidian, the Obsidian Vault, and like Graphify, like Databricks has done. Corporate solution, you just hook up into Databricks for a couple of bucks a month if you're more of a corporate player. And yeah, this is things are evolving very, very quickly. There's constantly people that are creating things in an open environment that are without self included. But I also don't fear monger, and I also don't you know I don't believe in being afraid. I believe in being aware. And when we can use these things in a way that it's more efficient without compromising safety and security, I think that's the way to go. I think a lot of folks out there take the stance of, well, this it sounds a little too complicated. Sounds like a black box to me. I don't want to open up. I don't want to open it up to my OneDrive, and they get afraid, and I understand that. So um, you don't have to use these things. These things are totally optional. What they do is they allow you to run more efficiently, more effectively, have a backup in the event that one of the providers goes down, and then all of your skills file, all of your workflow, all of your agents can be up and running very quickly because you have them inside of the Obsidian Vault with just a couple of simple tweaks, renames, and configs, because the naming schema that, for example, Claude uses is just a little different than the one that ChatGPT Codex uses. But conceptually, it's all the same thing when you have it inside of the Obsidian Markdown files, because that's what it is. It just creates a Markdown files, which is basically just like a glorified text file. It's like one step above a text file. You can open it up there and read it. Very simple. Like I said, link things together, create relationships, have Graphify create relationships for you. So now it operates just like our minds operate, just like our brains operate. Yeah. All right, great. So let me know if you're already using Obsidian Vault. Let me know how you're using it. What's working for you? What are some of the pitfalls you see? What doesn't work for you? And like I said, if you wanna get this stuff set up, if you want to get going, honestly, I think the best way, in my opinion, is if you want to learn, is to just install this stuff locally and start playing around with it. And then once you just feel more comfortable, then you can roll it out or set it up in more of a server environment and then make it available to your clients, which is really the goal. Because once once you get this stuff going and you're comfortable with it, then you want to provide it to your clients. So you're offering a service for them so that they can either ask a question and get information on your company's document repository quicker, more cost efficient, or it can execute a workflow that one of your operational teams was doing manually, or it can help you with legal or compliance documents where you were paying hundreds of thousands of dollars a year for legal and compliance officers to just basically redline some information for you. Now it can deliver all that work for them first, for them to then give that final review. And when you're doing important processes like this, you don't want to lose them. You don't want to lose it. So hooking it up to your OneDrive, hooking up Obsidian, and then Graphify, that's the combo. That's the way to go. And I understand that if you haven't used this stuff, or if you're just sort of dabbling, it sounds like a lot because you're like, what? OneDrive, Obsidian, Graphify, like what is all this? Just start with one thing at a time. Hook everything to run through your by everything I mean like your skills, your memory files, your agents, your workflow files. First, point that stuff so that it's not on your local directory like your C drive. Point it to your OneDrive so it's automatically backed up and you can access it on the cloud anywhere. After you get that going, then look at hooking up Obsidian or Graphify. Pick your poison, what you want to do first, and then move on to the next thing. And who knows? Next month they're going to come out with something else that we all need to learn. That's going to be the next latest and greatest thing that we carry forward. So I find it's just easier to learn just a little bite, just a little piece at a time. Learn in like 5 minutes or less is my philosophy. Just a little every day, couple days a week, and that's how you keep up with this stuff. Otherwise, it can get extremely overwhelming. And guys, this stuff, it's not going away. It's really getting better. It's super cool. And so I think the best way is to just be a lifelong learner and to grow with this stuff, instead of just burying your head in the sand and saying, well, I'll deal with it when I have to, or I'll look at it when I have to, or all this stuff is confusing. Just learn a little at a time. And like I said, the best way is to just install it locally